Grand Rising, all my queens and queens. Today's theme is Throwback Thursday, Power of the Pause. We're reflecting, reclaiming, and rooting ourselves. Pausers are not weakness, they're strategy resets. Today we lean into silence, wisdom, and knowing when to move. Use today's hush to fuel tomorrow's roar. This is not just another Thursday, it's a checkpoint, a moment to pause and look at how far you've come. You've made it through sleepless nights, silent battles, and setbacks that tried to take you out. But you're still here. And not just here, you're wiser, stronger, and more intelligent. So today, don't just wake up, rise. Sit in your stillness, sip your tea like it's holy. Breathe like you deserve peace. This is your daily dose of grace and grit, and I'm right here with you. Let's move through today like we own the sunrise. Our affirmation of today for today is today I give myself permission to pause, not out of weakness, but because my soul deserves room to expand. In my stillness, I reconnect with my power. So let that sit in your spirit. Let the words spin fast around you. Let the world spin fast around you. You move when you're ready. This is how we protect our peace, protect our purpose, and make the next move our best one. All right, of course, you will probably already realize that the definition or the word of the day is pause, which means a temporarily stop or break in action, speak, or movement, or to stop briefly before continuing. So, excuse me. It can be used in a sentence that says, he says he loves deep dives. Pause. Okay. Our urban word for the day, for all my Gen Xers and baby boomers dealing with their kids and grandkids, the word of the day is clapback. A sharp, witty, or well-timed comeback to someone throwing shade. And remember, shade is like, an insult on the sly. So an example is when her coworker tried it, she served a clapback so clean he needed aloe. All right, so know today, know your worth, protect your peace, and clap back when necessary with style and static. All right, on to the news for today. All right, we have New York. As the federal shutdown drags on, city agencies warn of delays in public health programs and permit processing. Local nonprofits scramble to fill service gaps for vulnerable residents. Atlanta. Local school systems announce scaled back after-school programs due to the uncertain federal funding. City leaders call on private partners to step in. Florida. Port operations face slowdowns as federal customs and border agents are furloughed. Shipping delays are expected to ripple into supply chains. Houston. Local grassroots coalition mobilizes to provide emergency cooling and water stations in neighborhoods hit hardest by the heat surge. Los Angeles. Homeless services contracts are put on hold, stirring protests in Skid Row. Advocates group warn of a worsening crisis if funding remains stalled. Yeah, that would be terrible. Oh my goodness. What would they do with all those people on Skid Row? There are thousands of people, homeless people that are down there. Skid Row goes for miles. I hope they can get that solved. Chicago. Public transit reports potential services cut if the city can't compensate for federal funding losses. Commuters brace for longer waits. Oh my. Washington, D.C. The Capitol sees protests outside the federal buildings with demands that Congress pass stopgap funding. Some agencies have temporarily locked their doors. Tampa. The tourism sector watches closely today. Delayed cruise ship inspections are creating anxiety among operators. Tarpon Springs. Local sponge fishing businesses fear repercussions if regulatory and export processes slow under the shutdown. Milwaukee. State legislature debates diverting emergency funds to support local services caught in the funding gap. Jackson, Mississippi. City officials warn that Medicaid reimbursements might be held up, straining hospitals which are already operating at thin margins. Toronto. Canadian markets react nervously to U.S. instability. Cross-border trade volumes are expected to cool slightly. Vancouver. The Port of Vancouver warns of lower throughput as U.S. customs delay impact Pacific shipping routes. I'm sorry, let me read that again. The Port of Vancouver warns of lower throughput. I don't know what. Okay, I put this somewhere. As U.S. customs delay impact Pacific shipping routes. Kingston. Gas prices are set to rise starting October 2nd per updated refinery cost reporting. Montego Bay. Tourism officials monitor potential impacts if U.S. travelers delay bookings due to federal uncertainty. Ocho Rios. Local waterfront vendors lobby for promotional events this fall to offset tourism declines. Negril. Community group partners with NGOs to host alternative cultural festivals, hedging against hotel occupancy dips. Cayman Islands. Financial services sector brace delays in U.S. regulatory approvals may slow cross-border transactions. And Nassau, the tourism board issues reassurances but monitors U.S. travel advisories closely. Bookings from U.S. markets could soften. Okay, on to the weather. Grand Rising, Gemini. New York, you're going to have a high of 65, low of 51, mostly sunny with a mild breeze. Atlanta, high of 82, low of 60, with warm but partly cloudy. Miami, high of 90, low of 77. It will be hot, humid, possible afternoon showers. Houston, high of 92, low of 73, hot and partly sunny. Los Angeles, 78, high of 78, low of 58, dry and clear. Chicago, high of 70, a low of 52, pleasant with light winds. Washington, D.C., high of 78, a low of 57, warm and partly sunny. Tampa, high of 90, high of 88 and a low of 76. Humid, scattered showers possible. Tarpon Springs, high of 89, a low of 77. Hot, some sea breezes. Milwaukee, high of 68, low of 48. Mild and partly cloudy. Jackson, Mississippi, high of 88, a low of 68. Warm and humid. Toronto, high of 70, low of 50. Mild, partly cloudy with an overcast. Vancouver, high of 64, low of 48. Wow. Overcast in the morning, clearing in the afternoon. Kingston, high of 89, low of 78. Hot, humid, and mostly sunny. Montego Bay, high of 88, low of 77. Hot, humid, and mostly sunny. Ocho Rios, high of 88, low of 77. Sun and coastal breeze. Negril, high of 88, low of 77. Bright and warm. Cayman Islands, high of 90, low of 78. Tropical sun, light showers possible. And now Nassau, high of 86, low of 76, pleasant and breezy. Okay, on to sports. All right, sports in the NFL. When at the end of week 3, we still had that Packers and Cowboys game with the 40-40 tie in overtime. Instant classic with a last minute touchdown from Dubs. I think that's how you said, Dubs. We had Chiefs over the Ravens, 37-20. Mahomes throws 4 touchdowns. Lamar exits with hamstring injury. Ouch. Then we had the Bills over the Saints, 31-19. Bishop's interception seals the win. All righty, and then we have a game tonight. I think that there's a game tonight somewhere on Prime. NBA preseason. Raptors Media Day kicks off with optimism around rookie guard Zaire Thompson. Lakers experiment with small ball lineup featuring Bronny James and AD. In WNBA, we have the Fever over the Aces and the Mercury over the Lynx. And the NBA Finals begin tomorrow with the Mercury versus the Aces. In baseball, we had the Blue Jays over the Red Sox 6-1, Dodgers over the D-backs 8-0, and Tigers over the Guardians 4-2, and the Yankees over the White Sox 5-3. Oh, and also the Astros over the Athletics 11-5. All right, Canadian sports. We have Blue Jays clinch AL East with 13-4 win over the Rays. Kirk hits grand slam. Maple Leafs extend goalie Stolarz for 4 years. Preseason buzz builds. Cone scores debut goal in Series A, spotlighting Canadian soccer talent. Jamaica. World Athletics recap. Keyshawn Thompson clocks 9.75 in the 100-meter race, now 6th fastest ever. Tina Clayton wins national title in 10.81, signaling a new sprint era. Nikisha Price defends 400-meter title with 49.97. Jamaica eyes 4 times 400-meter relay medal. Reggae girls regroup after CONCACAF loss. Friendlies scheduled for next week. All right, for now it's time for our daily focus, our daily feature of segment. of Throwback Thursday. So I have two actually today. I have one that is Roots in the Rise, the Pause That Powers Progress. We're spotlighting memory as legacy, how collective remembering and selection and silent reflection fuel resilience. From the Grouts in African kingdoms who held stories to the elders who whispered caution and wisdom and quiet moments, this segment digs in how history is embedded not just in textbooks, but in the pauses between breaths, in songs unsung, and the quiet strength of survival. Okay. All right. That one, that was not the right one. I'm sorry. The actual one today is let's rewind to 1981 when Black music finally got its own stage on national TV. BET launched Video Soul, hosted by Donnie Simpson, and it became the heartbeat of R&B and soul for over a decade. This wasn't just a countdown show, it was a cultural archive. From Janet Jackson to Jodeci, from Anita Baker to Boyz II Men, Video Soul gave us interviews, premieres, and moments that shaped the sound of a generation. I remember making sure I was always home so I can watch fine ass Donnie Simpson. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But then, yes, the countdown was lovely, and I got to see music videos and things like that and interviews. But I just like watching him because he was just so cute to me. Anywho, Gen X, if you know, you know. All right, what is one artist you discovered because of Video Soul? For me, I don't remember really which one I actually discovered personally. Um, I just remember Mary J being on there. And her voice reminded me so much at the time. It reminded me so much of like a Gladys Knight type, a little bit of Anita Baker and Gladys Knight to me. So I actually really started listening to Mary J then, you know. But now that's my girl. I love me some Mary J. Fun fact, Donnie Simpson's smooth voice and green eyes made him a household name and one of the first Black VJs to gain national fame. All right. So our suggested throwback track of the day is Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell, a Video Soul classic that still hits. That's right. That song do still hit. I think somebody was playing that the other day. All right, on to our book club. We are on Law 15. Okay, so the law is crush your enemy totally. So the core message of this is when you decide to confront an adversary, do not leave the room for recovery, retaliation, or redemption. Green argues that mercy can be dangerous because enemies left standing will regroup, rebuild, and return. To truly secure your position, you must eliminate their ability to challenge you again. This gives a new meaning to no witnesses. That's what I got out of it. All right, an extended breakdown of this is psychological warfare. Partial victories breed resentment. If you humiliate or wound an opponent without finishing the job, they'll nurse that pain and plot revenge. Historical example. Green cites Roman generals, Chinese warlords, and political power plays where leniency led to their downfall. Modern application. In business, this might mean over maneuvering a competitor so that thoroughly they exit the market. In personal life, it could mean cutting ties with toxic individuals. Ooh, yes. And ensuring they no longer have access to your energy, resources, or reputation. Yes, I totally agree with that. But a cautionary note: this law is controversial. It's not about cruelty; it's about strategic finality. Green warns that systematically or indecisions can cost you everything. But he also implies that this law should be used selectively and only when the stakes are high. So more is lost through stopping halfway than through total annihilation. The enemy will recover and seek revenge, crush him, not only in body, but in spirit. Today's power principle is not for the faint of heart. It's if you're facing opposition, ask yourself, am I trying to coexist or am I ready to conquer? All right then. All right, our cause of the day is hepatitis C awareness. Hepatitis C is a silent storm, often showing no symptoms until serious damage is done. It's a viral infection that attacks the liver, and if left untreated, it can lead to cirrhosis, liver cancer, or even death. But here's the truth: hepatitis C is curable. Yes, curable, with modern treatments that can clear the virus in weeks. So, transmission spread through blood-to-blood contact, most commonly via shared needles, unsterilized tattoos, or transfusions before 1992. Symptoms: often none at first. Later signs may include fatigue, jaundice, and abdominal pain. Treatment is antiviral medications can cure hepatitis C in 8 to 12 weeks. Testing: a simple blood test can detect it. Early diagnosis saves lives. Call to action: visit local clinics or health departments for free or low cost testing. Resources: hepatitis C Association, which is hepcassoc.org. So that's HEPCASSOC.org. They provide patient education, support groups, and advocacy tools. Local health departments may offer free to low-cost testing. And to find more education and advocacy, there is the blackhealthmatters.com. Also, National Viral Hepatitis Roundtable, which is nvhr.org. All right. All right, our fun fact of today: the first Black-owned television station in the U.S. was WGPR-TV, launched in 1975 in Detroit, and it still represents independent Black media excellence. Salute to the printmakers. All right, on to our history today. Bayard Rustin was the architect behind the 1963 March on Washington. His behind-the-scenes leadership shaped civil rights more than many know. Ruby Bridges. As a 6-year-old in 1960, she integrated an all-white elementary school in New Orleans, walking amid threats but showing courage. There's a movie, Ruby Bridges as well. It's a really good movie. John Lewis, his Good Trouble legacy continues. From Selma to now, he embodied when to kneel, when to march, and when to speak. On to inventors. Norbert Rilux was in the field of chemical engineering and industrial design. His legacy in the 1840s, Rilux revolutionized the sugar refining process with his invention of the multiple effect evaporator. His system dramatically improved safety, efficiency, and sanitation in sugar production, replacing dangerous, often kettles with a closed steam-based method. Replacing dangerous open kettles with a closed steam-based method. Born in New Orleans to a free Creole family, his invention was so advanced it was later adapted for processing paper, milk, and soap. His work was praised by European scientists but ignored by many in the U.S. due to racial prejudice. Dr. George Carruthers. Dr. Carruthers invented the ultraviolet camera spectrograph that was used during the Apollo 16 missions to capture images of Earth's outer atmosphere and deep space. His invention allowed scientists to study celestial phenomena invisible to the naked eye. As a physicist at the Naval Research Laboratory, Carruthers broke ground in space science while mentoring young Black students in STEM. NASA honored him with the Exceptional Scientific Achievement Medal, and a lunar observatory bears his name. Okay, we got Platonia Dorticus. In 1890, C.J. Dorticus patented a photo embossing machine that improved the durability and clarity of photographic prints. His invention allowed images to be permanently embossed onto surfaces, preserving them against wear and fading. At the time when photography was evolving rapidly, Dorticus' work helped elevate Black contributions to visual technology and historical preservation. Henry Blair. Henry Blair was the second African American to receive a U.S. patent, despite being illiterate. In 1834, he invented a seed planter that dramatically increased planting efficiency for corn and cotton. His device allowed for farmers to sow seeds in neat rows while reducing manual labor, transferring agriculture in the antebellum South. Blair's brilliance was mechanical, intuitive, and deeply rooted in the land. Blair signed his patents with an X mark, of genius that defied exclusion. Okay. Our quote of the day: rest is resistance. Rest is power. Rest is how we reclaim ourselves. That's by Tricia Hersey of the Nap Ministry. Your stillness is not laziness, it's rebellion against burnout culture. Today, claim your pause. Song of the day: I Am Not My Hair by India Ari. All right, on to music and entertainment news. We have Her teases sophomore album dropping this month. Fans speculate it's a concept project on ancestral memory. Killer Mike doing a lyric video collaboration with a spoken word poet. He's elevating hip hop, not just entertaining. And Jasmine Sullivan headlines surprise Brooklyn concert. Limited tickets sent to community centers first. Celebrity gossip. Issa Rae and Lakeith Stanfield spotted in LA. No confirmation, but paparazzi is eating. Serena Williams, rumored to launch a wellness brand that centers Black maternal mental health. Lena Waithe, caught having dinner with mystery producer in Atlanta. Is a new project brewing? Celebrity birthdays. Avery Brooks is 77, known for Deep Space Nine, A Man Called Hawk, a legacy actor, director, and educator whose commanding presence refined Black masculinity on screen. Next, we got Latasha Scott Bivens, turns 52. She was a member of the R&B group Escape. Her legacy is a vocal powerhouse behind hits like Who Can I Run To and Understanding. Still active in gospel and solo music. And we have Efren Ramirez, turns 52, known for Napoleon Dynamite. He played Pedro. While not African American, he's often celebrated in multicultural birthday roundups. And I like to give a personal shout out to my youngest diva, Catrice. She turns, I gotta tell her how old she is. That means y'all gonna see how old I am. She turns 30. Whoa, I think 34 today. No, 33. Happy birthday, diva. Love you. All right, our tech tip of the day is declutter your digital life in 60 seconds. Today's tech tip is simple but powerful. Clean your desktop. That's clutter screen. It isn't just messy. Isn't just messy. It slows down your workflow and your mindset. Create folders for urgent, archive, and in progress. Then drag and drop like your piece depends on it. Why it matters? Clean up your desktop reduces visual stress, speeds up device performance, and makes it easier to find what actually matters. All right, so a quick action will be hold down your control and then plus A to select everything. Right click, new folder, name it Sort Me. Now you've got breathing room and a plan. So you go from there, from that folder, and just pick out stuff that you need and put it in appropriate folder so you'll be able to find it faster. Finance tip of the day. I'm still on stocks, learning stocks. But today's topic under that series is dividends, getting paid while you sleep. What are dividends? Dividends are payouts that some companies give to their shareholders as a share of the profits. Instead of reinvesting all their earnings into growth, Certain companies, usually well established ones, choose to reward investors by cutting them a check. Think of it like the company saying, "Thanks for believing in us. Here's your slice of the pie." Why it matters? Dividends create passive income, money that flows in whether you're hustling or sleeping. While growth stocks rise and fall with the market, dividend stocks pay you regularly, usually every quarter. That's cash in your hand that you can either spend or reinvest. For beginners, it's a way to feel real-time reward of investing while also building long-term wealth. Who pays dividends? Big established names like Coca-Cola, Johnson and Johnson, Microsoft, Procter and Gamble. These are often called dividend aristocrats, companies that have not only paid dividends for decades, but raised them consistently year after year. So a beginner move would be, instead of chasing hype, start looking at companies' dividends yields. That's the annual payout compared to its stock price. A yield of around 2 to 4% is common for steady, healthy companies. Too high, that's often a red flag. So, a pro tip: don't just take the payout and spend it. Use a dividend reinvestment plan or DRIP. It automatically uses your dividend money to buy more shares. That means every payout buys you more stock, which earns more dividends, which buys more stock. Is compounding. It's just compounding magic. So today's challenge is check your favorite everyday brands. That soda you drink, that soap you use, the phone you love. Do they pay dividends? If so, imagine getting paid just for being loyal. That's the dividend lifestyle. So tomorrow in the series, we're going to talk about ETFs, exchange trade funds. How to own a whole basket of stocks in one move without the stress of picking winners. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Our soul food recipe of today is sweet potato and turkey green gravy. I guess that's with gravy. So the ingredients are roasted sweet potatoes, chopped collard greens, smoked turkey necks, onions, garlic, vegetable stock, and seasoning. So you would saute onions and garlic, add the greens and turkey and stop. Simmer until greens are tender. Fold in roasted potatoes at the end, season to taste, and serve over rice or cornbread. So our drink of the day is ginger mint cucumber cooler. It says muddle the ginger, mint, and cucumber. Add lime juice, sparkling water, and a touch of honey. Serve chilled with a mint spray. Men's health tip: add 10 minutes of dynamic mobility in the evening. Hip circles, shoulder rolls, ankle mobility. It's not just sexy, but prevents crunch later. Women's health tip: support your hormonal balance. Include sources of magnesium like pumpkin seeds and spinach, and maintain consistent sleep rhythms. Relationship tips for today. We're moving that way. We're going for couples. Love isn't just chemistry, it's collaboration. If your partner's goals don't include your peace, it's time to realign. Healthy relationships are built on mutual evaluation and elevation, not silence and competition. Celebrate each other's wins and check in before checking out. Ask your partner, what does support look like for you this week? Then show up like you mean it. Friends relationship advice this for today. Friendship is a mirror and a microphone. It reflects who you are and amplifies what you need. If your circle only claps, When it's convenient, it's not a circle, it's a cage. Loyalty means showing up, not just tagging in. Protect your joy from passive envy and performance love. Audit your friendships. Who feeds your spirit and who just watches you starve? Family. Blood makes you related. Boundaries make you safe. Family dynamics can be layered with guilt, tradition, and unspoken pain. But healing starts with honesty. You don't you don't owe anyone access to your peace. You owe yourself the freedom to choose love that feels like home. If the family table feels toxic, build your own and invite peace to sit first. Today's relationship tip is simple. If it drains you, it's not aligned. Whether it's bae, bestie, or blood, protect your energy like it's equality, like it's equity. Sorry. Alrighty. That did that part. All right. Our boss move only today is the CEO power of the pause. Most entrepreneurs think success is about constant hustle, nonstop emails, endless grinds, all gas, no breaks. But the truth is, bosses know how and when to pause. A pause isn't weakness, it's strategy. Step one, pause before you post. That emotional clap back on Instagram or late night rant on X, stop. Draft it. Sit on it. If it doesn't deserve your brand in 24 hours, it doesn't need to see the light. Step two, pause before you pitch. Every opportunity ain't for you. Before you agree to collaborate, ask, does this align with my brand's core values? Does it move me closer to my legacy? That's right, sis. And step three, pause before you pivot. Changing direction is smart, but only for reflection. Look at your numbers, your energy, your audience's feedback. Don't jump because you're bored. Move because it's better. So today's boss challenge is take 15 minutes of silence. No emails, just you, a notebook, and your thoughts. Write down one thing you'll say no to this month and one thing you'll say yes to that grows your business. That's not procrastination, it's CEO energy. Alrighty. Last, we have our horoscopes. All right, starting with Aries. Aries, emotions run deep. Emotions run deep today. Use your pause to filter what you truly want before speaking. Taurus, ground your energy. A quiet ritual, tea, breath work, brings clarity to financial moves. Gemini, you may feel pulled into two directions. Pause before committing. What aligns with your truth? Cancer, emotional currents are strong. Use silence to self-soothe rather than react. Leo, the spotlight is calling you, but your power is in humility today. Shine quietly, don't shout. Virgo, your mind is sharp. Use your pause to sort through ideas and clarity will emerge. Libra, relationships matter now more than ever. A quiet word can heal old wounds. Mm. Scorpio, transformation is real. You're shedding layers. Don't rush. Evolve in your own time. Sagittarius, adventure calls, but grounding yourself first will make the leaping stronger. Okay. All right, on tomorrow's show, we will go deep into Feature Friday with a Black tech founder building wellness AI for trauma recovery, spotlighting communities often ignored by Silicon Valley. Plus, a new song of the day, a mindset hack, and listeners' feedback. So, in closing, family, as we wrap up this Throwback Thursday, let's remember the pause is not the end, it's the power up. We've honored our past, leaned into our stillness, and reminded ourselves that silence can be strategy, not surrender. So tonight, when the noise of the world creeps in, take that deep breath, sip your peace, write down one thing you've learned from your journey, and carry it like armor tomorrow. I'm Mel B, reminding you that your presence is enough. Your journey is sacred and your pause is powerful. Until tomorrow, stay grounded, stay glowing, and always remember, I said what I said, period.